Welcome into the Cowboys Report. Give me your one-word reaction to the Cowboys win over the Giants. We're still kind of celebrating some excitement here from that perspective with where things currently sit. So one-word reaction to the Cowboys win over the New York Giants. Sound off for me in the comment section right now. Here's what's coming up on today's Cowboys Report. We will go story by story, so make sure you tune in all the way until the end of today's show. Let's talk offensive line and Tyler Smith. Now, Tyler Smith did not play in Week 1, but he might be able to play in Week 2. As the hamstring injury, the Cowboys were trying to get him out there and get him able to go, but he wasn't able to do so. Instead, Chuma Edoga, who we will come back to here in a little bit, got the start. I thought he was just fine. Tyron Smith also briefly left the game, which, testament to, I think, the Cowboys' offensive line, I did not notice it, that Tyler Smith left the game briefly and then came back and then also left when the game was over and it was a blowout, or Tyron Smith. So I think it was only like 2 snaps that he missed, so it was very brief. Might have just been an equipment issue, frankly. But Smith, he came out. Austin Richards, I thought, played pretty well in a small sample size. They got reps for TJ Bass, for practice squad call-up Brock Hoffman. I was pretty impressed overall. Edoga was not your best offensive lineman, but he wasn't a liability. Allowed a hit, allowed a hurry. The run blocking grade was okay. I thought your tight ends actually did a really good job run blocking overall today. But, he did his job. He didn't get killed. He didn't get cooked. He didn't have massive problems. He didn't allow a bunch of pressures. It wasn't like it was Mark Glowinski out there or Evan Neal out there. The Giants had issues there. If I had told you Edoga put up this stat line in his 56 snaps against the Giants, I think we all would have said, okay, that's fine. It's not Chaz Green. That is good enough for us as Cowboys fans. Now, I want Tyler Smith back out there sooner than later. Quinnen Williams for the Jets in Week 2. That's going to be a very tough matchup there. So will he play in Week 2? Y for yes, N for no. Sound off for me in the comment section at the pinned comment of today's show. If the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Let's talk about the tight ends. Preface this by saying they did do a good job of run blocking, but the single biggest issue on offense in Week 1, if we ignore the rain causing, which is maybe your root cause of everything, was the tight end play. Dak gave Ferguson chances, 7 targets. He caught 2 of them for 11 yards, 2 drops. In fact, the Dallas Cowboys, entering Monday Night Football per PFF, tied for the most drops in Week 1. 2 of them by Jake Ferguson, one of which would have been a touchdown. Another drop by Peyton Hendershot. His only target, should have been 6, was dropped as well. The national media talking heads who are trying to create Dak Prescott controversy in a 40-0 win because that's the only way they can get views would have had nothing to stand on if the tight ends had not dropped those passes. Turpin, by the way, also dropped an easy bubble screen right there. Numbers would have looked pretty damn good if those don't happen from that perspective. Tight ends, maybe it was the rain, maybe it was the Week 1 jitters or whatever, but if they dial that in moving forward, they will be just fine. And the offense, that might have been Team 50 Burger in Week 1. Now, today's show is made possible by Factor. I have a 2-year-old at home. It is football season. My time is limited. I don't want to spend all this time prepping and cutting and preparing and cooking all these meals. They're good, but I want to save some time. That is where Factor comes in. America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. Chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You will save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Adjust your stride this autumn without missing a step. Choose from 34-plus weekly flavor-packed, fresh, never frozen meals that are ready to eat in 2 minutes. These are calorie-conscious options during the season. You can try delicious, dietitian-approved calorie-smart meals with around or less than 550 calories per serving. With Factor, you can rest assured you're making a sustainable choice. They offset 100% of their delivery emissions, source 100% renewable electricity for production sites and offices, and feature sustainably sourced seafood and meals. This September, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered straight to your door. They are ready in just 2 minutes with no prep and no mess. Head to factormeals.com/CowboysChat and use code CowboysChat to get 50% off. That's code CowboysChat50 at factormeals.com/CowboysChat50 to get 50% off. It's a fantastic deal. Check the comment section and the description of today's show for the link and the deal. Now, story number 3 here. How about some Micah Parsons hype? The stat sheet will only say 1 sack, and if you just want a box score scout, you can, I suppose. Anyone who watched the game, anyone who wasn't watching but watched the film later, saw very clearly how freaking awesome Micah Parsons was. The NFL has robbed Micah Parsons of a sack. That Daniel Jones bad snap that Parsons was going to make the play on anyway, I think, they didn't give him the sack for it. Botched snap. Okay, should be a sack. Only a TFL, 2 QB hits. But if you watch this, just go there. I posted a cut of it. Go watch the cut up of Micah Parsons as a pass rusher. He's what I call a gravity player. And gravity players affect the orbit of all players around them, both their own teammates and the opposing team. How many times did we see Micah Parsons get doubled and or held? How many times did Micah free up another rusher? It is actually very challenging, I believe, for a defensive player to elevate those around him and not just be dominant by himself. That's how you go from great to elite to generational to award-winning. Osi Umenyiora had a free sack, lined up at defensive end, loops around Micah. The guard and tackle, they double-team Micah. Osa's untouched. That is the type of play. Does not go down in the stat sheet as a sack for Micah, but it might as well. He made that play happen, freed up others as a pass rusher. He is the best player on defense in the entire NFL. Myles Garrett's great too. Micah's number 1. So will Micah win Defensive Player of the Year? Type in 1 for yes, 0 for no. Sound off in the comment section. No surprise, it's a lot of defensive love here. Osi Umenyiora. I'm hoping for the breakout season this year for the defensive tackle. 4 tackles in week 1, 2 sacks, 2 TFLs, 3 quarterback hits. It was really impressive. I thought he was on his game. Thought he was impactful. I thought he looked awesome. Was solid against the run too. I thought one of the better games we've seen out of Osi Umenyiora. You know, if you value the PFF grades at all, he was up there. Solid grades. I think the run defense wasn't as good. Kind of Giants had some success early on, but pass rush, 4 pressures on 16 snaps. Guys, if you're getting a pressure on a quarter of your snaps, that is unbelievable, which we'll come back to on here in a little bit. Now, if you want all the latest Cowboys news and rumors, then make sure you are subscribed. We have videos multiple times each day, and we have multiple live shows each week. We are live today, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Central. We will be live Thursday as well, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central as well. And then over an hour before kickoff for the Sunday watch party as well. 3 p.m. Eastern Time is when that one gets started. So make sure you guys are subscribed, youtube.com/CowboysTV. All right, let's continue along here. How about the entire defensive line? They all looked awesome in week 1. The pressure numbers are simply stunning. Against the Giants, the Cowboys as a team had 39 pressures. Now, that came for the Giants on 25 dropbacks. Now, that means multiple guys are winning each rep. That's how the math happens there. Micah Parsons, 16 pass rushes, 6 pressures. Dorrance Armstrong, Dorrance had 6 for 16. Micah had 6 for 26. Osa 4 for 16. Chauncey Golston 4 for 23. Dante Fowler 4 for 29. Like it was unbelievable how good they were in that football game. Like they just did not have anything going wrong. They only counted dropbacks from that perspective. I definitely have the wrong stat up here. Sorry, it was 39 on 42 dropbacks. Oh, well, that's fine. We'll just leave it up there. 39 on 42. I don't know what I was looking at. Maybe I was looking at attempts or something like that. But yeah, I mean, that was it still stands, of course. That was a truly dominant performance out of the Dallas Cowboys on that side of the football. They were nothing short of impactful. They dominated on defense. DeMarcus Lawrence had a sack again against the Giants, only had 3 pressures the entire game. Dominant performance, 39 pressures on the 44 dropbacks, 42 from Daniel Jones. Dominant, elite effort by the Dallas Cowboys. So if you love Dan Quinn, how can you not? Everyone type DQ in the comment section right now. My final kind of takeaway here is that you don't need defensive line depth. Or you don't need linebacker depth. You don't. You have safeties who are playing that role. You had 5 safeties. Your number 3 or number 2 guy, depending on how we ranked Donovan Wilson, was hurt. They all played at least 30% of your snaps. J-Ron Kearse, tight end eraser. Blake Hooker should have had an INT. Wanye Thomas was your surprise gem of week 1. He was awesome in that game. Marquise Bell played super well in kind of what I'm going to consider the DeMarvion Overshown role. Israel Mukuamu was good again. We saw him play great last year as a nickel corner. Marquise Bell had 8 tackles, a TFL, a forced fumble. The Giants fumbled the ball 5 times. They got lucky they turned it over as infrequently as they did, because they could have bounced the Cowboys way more. Wanye Thomas had the field goal block that Noah Igbenogany scooped and scored on. He had a pass breakup, a great play on Darren Waller. You don't need linebacker depth when your safeties can serve that role. For years, I begged and pleaded Dallas to invest at linebacker, and now they are. Look how things are going.